Hi everyone, we're back here at my art table. We're going to do another lesson and get a little bit of understanding on linear perspective. Have you ever wondered what they were doing when you saw a ruler on a drafting table and a mechanical pencil, such as this one? Well, usually architects and designers, concept designers for residents like homes and corporate offices or even furniture, things like that that have to use a lot of straight lines, they're doing what's called linear perspective. They're using horizon lines and vanishing points on a sheet of paper. So today we're going to start some lectures or some tips and tricks on what we do in linear perspective. I'm going to start off with the basics, having you to understand the horizon line first. What the horizon line is where the sky meets the land or the sky meets the water. So there's always a line that you're going to have somewhere in our universe to start off this whole idea of creating linear perspective using the horizon line. Back in the 13th century, before we had the scientific methods such as using rulers and vanishing points, back in the 13th century, we had the Renaissance artists started with what was called approximation. They would look at real estate or look at properties, look at buildings, and try to draw them without the use of a strategic scientific way to do it. So we nowadays, we start off by and analyzing what we want to draw and learning the lines and using this horizon line and the vanishing points to make a more specific, a more scientific, correct approach at these linear shapes that we want to draw. A linear shape is like a square, a rectangle, a pyramid shape, things with straight lines. So I want to start off with the horizon line and one or two vanishing points on this horizon line to start off with. I like to put a straight line with my ruler to start off with, and then I'm just going to put it to the side because in this little tutorial lesson I want to go freehand. I don't want to use the ruler to slow myself down, and I just kind of want to show you the steps. So we have what's called a vanishing point on the line, a vanishing point, and then from the vanishing point we're going to take a couple of angled lines straight out onto the bottom, the surface. This is where the land is. And within those two lines, we want to put a vertical and a vertical. Okay, vertical and a vertical within those two lines. And then you want to go ahead and finish off the top and the bottom. So a box, we're going to do a square here. A box always has two planes that are in this orientation, two planes in the front and back, and then two planes on the top and bottom. So this is the right plane to the box, and the left plane will be over here. So now that I have the right plane that is converging to the vanishing point, I'm going to put the front panel in, which always, always, always in 1 point perspective. This is 1 point perspective right here. This is what I'm doing, 1 point perspective. In 1 point perspective, you're always going to have horizontal lines such as these, and diagonal lines and vertical lines. So we have the side panel here, and then we need the front panel right here, which is basically a square. When you see anything in 1 point perspective that's a cube, you're going to see the square facing us first. And then from here, we're going to take an angled line such as this one and this one over to the vanishing point. And if you need a straight edge, if you're not really steady on your straight line, freehand straight lines, and you need a straight edge, go ahead and grab a straight edge. But what you want to do is you want to start at a point, put your eye on your dot where you need to go, and just go there. That helps you to get the straight line in. And then now that I have my front panel and my side panel, I need my top panel to close in here. So we have another horizontal back here. And then we're going to have another angle on that side. So basically with an opaque box, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 diagonal converging lines to a vanishing point. Then you're going to have 1, 2, 3 vertical lines that stand straight up and down. And then you're going to have 1, 2, 3 horizontal lines that go from left to right. in an opaque box. If this box was transparent, yes, you would be able to see the inside lines, but we're going to do transparent box in another tutorial. So now let's go ahead and do another box in this 1-point perspective arena. And I'm going to come from the vanishing point. I'm going to make a tall shape that crosses over my horizon line. And then I'm going to put another one here. Okay, so I have my 2 verticals, and then I have my diagonal lines to the vanishing point. These are my converging lines to this vanishing point. So I have my right panel. Now we need the front facing, and when you're in a 1-point perspective view, you have a front facing, which is a square. Now with this one, there's no opportunity to see the top or the bottom of the box because we're on the line. When you're below the line, you have the opportunity to see the top of your structure. When you're on the line, you don't see the top or the bottom. Remember, this horizon line is the same also as your eye level or your water level. So anything below your eye level, you can see the top of. Anything above your eye level up in the sky, you can see the the bottom of. So here we go. Let's go with a couple of diagonal lines going in another direction like this. And then we're going to throw in these 2 verticals and go ahead and finish off that panel, that plane of it. And then down below, we can put in our horizontal lines. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. Let me take that out. We don't want to do that yet. Sometimes I forget. I'm a little bit advanced and we need to slow down for the students. Okay, here's a horizontal here and a horizontal there to make our front panel. Got it? Now we have a corner hanging out over here that needs a diagonal line. So we're going to take a diagonal line. You can go either direction, whichever is easier for you, for a straight line there. And then since we already have our 1, 2, 3 vertical lines, we don't have our 1, 2, 3 horizontal or our 1, 2, 3 orthogonal diagonal lines going to the vanishing point. So here's the horizontal line, and then here is the other diagonal. Pretty cool, huh? So now what if we had a shape right here on the box, on the vanishing point? We just simply would start off with a square shape, okay? And there's nowhere for it to converge. If this is an opaque box, we cannot see inside, and there's no other lines in there that we can do anything with. It's just right on our eye level, right in our vanishing point, right in our point of view. So basically, this is a 1-point perspective. Practice these steps and these techniques, and let's grow with understanding the certain planes that you need. Remember, horizon lines, there's always horizontal lines and vertical lines in a 1-point perspective scenario. These are all 1-point perspective. And as you get more comfortable with it, you can start off with the square first. You can start to overlap some of your shapes and also put more vanishing points on your line. You can put hundreds of vanishing points on this line. You don't need just one. And when you put multiple vanishing points on your lines, your structures start to turn just a little bit. And so now what I'm doing is creating another shape from a different approach down here next to this other one. And then once you have 2 boxes next to each other, one of them you can erase the lines and they will appear to be overlapping one another right there. Okay, let's go with another one up here, and I'm going to use a different vanishing point, one over here. And I'm starting off with just a simple box. These 3 corners have to go to the vanishing point. And then I'm going to put another vertical here, 1, 2, 3 verticals, and another horizontal under here. Oops. 1, 2, 3 horizontals, and another diagonal here and here and here. So 1, 2, 3 diagonals. So we have three sets of 3. This is kind of cool. Now these shapes are turning a little bit. You see a little bit, you see this side of the upward panel, the vertical panel, because this vanishing point is controlling that box. And with this box, this vanishing point is controlling that box. So now we have a scenario of 1-point perspective structures turning by using multiple vanishing points on the line. I'll see you in the next lesson.